The Kia Soul is a car that you either love or loathe. It's a vehicle that isn't particularly sexy, is quite boxy in its appearance, and of course is advertised by cute anthropomorphic hamsters. Initially introduced to the world in 2009, the Kia Soul hasn't changed all that much in its production, with the first generation model running through until 2013 before it was replaced with a current generation model. Although the Soul has primarily been a gasoline car, an electric variant was introduced in certain markets in 2015, offering an all-electric range of 93 miles, 150 kilometers on the EPA test cycle. Treated as a compliance car in North America, the Soul EV was priced higher than a Nissan Leaf, but offered more load carrying capability as well as some nifty in-car HVAC tech to ensure as little energy was required as possible to keep driver and passengers comfortable. Back in January, Kia quietly announced the Soul EV's battery pack would be increasing to 30 kilowatt hours, resulting in an EPA-approved range of 111 miles, that's 179 kilometers per charge. While that made the Kia Soul EV a little more capable in terms of range, it didn't really do a whole lot to increase the car's sales, especially when other vehicles like the next generation Nissan Leaf and, in certain markets, Tesla Model 3, Zoe 40 and Chevrolet Bolt EV offered a whole lot more range for not a whole lot more money. Given its limited range and limited sales availability, I and others, I presume in the industry, assumed that Kia would retire the Soul EV when the Kia Niro EV launched this year. Similar in size to the Soul EV, the Kia Niro EV offers a whole lot more range than the current Soul EV and is more mainstream in its design. To be honest, I don't think many people would have minded, although I will admit that I'm a fan of the Soul and the Soul EV, and not just because of those adverts either. Yet, it turns out that Kia is indeed keeping the Soul EV around when it introduces the next generation Soul next year. How do we know? Well, not an official posting from Kia, but instead a series of spy shots captured at the Nürburgring in Germany. Sadly, it's not possible to share those photos here because, well, in order to do so, I'd have to pay the professional spy photographer a pretty large sum of money to have the rights to do so. And yes, professional automotive spy photographer is a career, and yes, they do charge a lot of money to access the photos and videos that they capture. What I can tell you, however, is that the new Kia Soul EV looks like an evolutionary rather than revolutionary step up from the current production model. It retains the easily recognizable silhouette, with the inside cabin, or what I can see of it, offering an upgrade that is more modern, a fresher version of what went before. On the front bumper of the Kia Soul EV, which looks a little higher than the previous version, there's the same charge door as on the current Soul EV. It is, however, a little smaller, which suggests that Kia is switching from the CHAdeMO DC quick charging of previous models to the CCS combined charging port that it's now using. Instead of a gear lever, something we had in the current Soul EV, there's also a rotary gear selector and presumably the electronic parking brake that has been offered on Soul EVs in Europe for a while. But what is most important is not the exterior or the interior, but the in-dash range display. It shows a predicted range of 437 kilometers with a state of charge of 92%. For those who are interested, that's about the same range as that given for the long-range 64 kilowatt-hour Kona Electric in Europe. This suggests that the Hyundai Kona Electric, Kia Niro EV and next-generation Kia Soul EV may very well share the same battery, drivetrain and charging capabilities as each other. What does this translate to in the real world? Well, expect less than 437 kilometers, 271 miles quoted by the car. It's likely that that range is based on European test figures, and as we all know, range predictions do have a tendency to be a little optimistic. Instead, I suggest we look at the 258 miles, that's 415 kilometers, offered by the Kona Electric as a good base point. Given the Soul EV is a little less aerodynamic than either the Niro EV or Kona Electric, it's likely that the range is going to be less than both of its cousins. It's also worth noting that the battery pack sharing between multiple Hyundai Kia vehicles is very important too, as it suggests the company is leveraging economies of scale made possible by sharing common components across multiple vehicles to lower sticker prices for consumers. They've been doing the same thing for petrol engines for years. Given the outgoing Kia Soul EV is a little on the expensive side, this could help make the next generation Soul EV a lot more affordable. Sadly though, because there's no other information on price, availability or production yet, remember this is a spy shot of a pre-production prototype, we'll have to wait a little longer to find out just what this new model will offer. So what would you like to see from the next generation Kia Soul EV? Will it sell? Or will people opt instead for the more conventional Kona electric or Niro EVs? Let me know in the comments below. That's it. As always, hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded. Subscribe to both of our channels, and if you'd like to, support us by using one of the two links below or by buying something from our new shop. You'll find the merch listed just below this video if you're watching this video on YouTube with a web browser. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.